how many of you guys just feel kind of overwhelmed with the amount of software that's out there right now? It just kind of seems like there's an app for literally everything, right? So it's just kind of a pain in the butt to keep up with everything, and you don't know whether it's going to integrate with your business and your workflow, right? So what if we could take the simplicity and familiarity of documents and spreadsheets and, oh, can you go ahead and put it first? Yeah, people are going to want to watch that. Yeah. Okay, so what if we could take the simplicity and familiarity of documents and spreadsheets and upgrade them to a high-end CRM, a dynamic website builder, or for build sales tool without losing your simplicity? This is possible with no-code technologies such as Zapier, Botpress, and more. And those are some of the things that I think you might be familiar with. Go ahead and click one more time for me. All right. Now, how can I say with certainty that these technologies are game changers? Because Umo, my now thriving marketing agency, is proof of the transforming potential. We encountered a major setback in our early days. Go ahead and click, please. So that's just some of the stuff that we've been able to do by switching over to AI. This potential catastrophe, however, served as a motor for innovation. You go ahead and replace it. Thank you. So we were able to significantly improve our content strategy and optimize our operations by employing these no-code technologies. Right? And although difficult at the time, this difficulty turned out to be a blessing. It provided us with a technological advantage that separated us from the crowd, allowing us to do things that were previously thought impossible. So I'm eager to share the ideas and methods that enable us to convert a potential disaster into a stepping stone to success, demonstrating how you can replicate this in your own business. And let's go ahead and click again. All right, here we go. And then one more click, please. Yeah, and then another click. Thanks. I think this is going to be a lot easier with the clicker if I have one. I'm bored with it. My name is Vincent Graham, and I'm co-founder of Chino. Oh, thank you. There we go. Cool, perfect. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to set up your, okay, so sorry. Let's just talk about how AI and no-code solutions are making waves in the workplace today, right? So like, imagine the blocks that you can customize to suit your needs. It helps to make it smoother and things more efficient. It's like having a bunch of handy, easy-to-use building blocks that can adapt to whatever your organization needs, right? So don't think of it as, right, whether it's just your CRM, it's just your sales tool, right? Think of it as something that you can combine with spreadsheets, docs that you already know how to use, that all of your employees already know how to use, right? Think of OpenAI as the engine and Zapier that's connecting them all together, right? That's the big difference. So I'm just going to show you a little example of how you can use it. So you guys are probably pretty familiar with these logos up here. If you're not, the first one is Google Drive. The next one is OpenAI. That's what's really powering ChatGPT under the hood, right? And the last one is Gmail. Everybody probably knows that one already, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through the process of how to take an audio file, turn it into a transcript, summarize it, and automatically send it to your email. Okay? So this can be used, for example, for a sales call, right? How many of you guys have to record your sales call? You're going to analyze it, and you're going to see what are like the key takeaways from this, right? So this is we're going to have a little screenshot here from Zapier. This is the interface. And basically, you have these triggers. So when you put an audio file into your Google Drive in a specific folder, it's going to trigger this Zap. You're going to connect it to your account. You're going to tell it what to do. And then it's going to move on to OpenAI. that's going to trigger a transcription. So there's different models in OpenAI. The one that we're using right now is Whispers. That's what's going to transcribe the audio file. Okay, you connect it to your account. You put in the file that you want up there, text file, and then it pulls out that information, puts it into a formatted transcript, and it sends it into another OpenAI trigger. This one is just a traditional prompt, something that you kind of use in ChatGPT. You're talking to it, right? The difference is I'm saying, hey, summarize this transcript that I got, the sales goal into one paragraph, find and fill out the following information from the transcript. So I'm looking for a call summary, action items, key insights, objections, dates, and times. Okay. So now it pulls all of that out. Okay. I'm sending it to Gmail, where we're going through the setup process again, connecting it to our account, running through the action, and then testing it, and it's sent. And this is what it's sending. Call summary. In the sales call, Mark Boychak was speaking with call. He works at an inside company, and it's facing the challenge of losing sales to low-cost competitors. Mark identified the issues and made a recommendation for an in-person meeting to discuss further and come up with solutions. Action items. Mark proposed an in-person meeting to discuss the issue further and come up with solutions. Calling key insights. Calling identified the issue as the company not moving quickly enough, not closing the sales, or showing replacement. This is costing the company approximately $2.5 to $3 million. Dates and times. They agreed to meet on Wednesday afternoon at 2:30 p.m. at 8 Broadway Street in Boston. That was all from an audio file. So this is something that all of you can do. There's no programming involved, there's no coding. This is all drag and drop, right? The two things that you really have to keep in mind when using OpenAI and no code is the two capabilities of OpenAI, is search and format, right? OpenAI has a really great capability and capacity to search for things and return to you precisely, right? It can also reformat things. So when we typically think of generative, creating new content, it's really just taking what you're inputting from your prompt and reformatting it, maybe adding a little bit more. So think of it like that, and you have basically, the world at your fingertips, right? You have the ability of OpenAI to connect all of your data here. Thank you. Glad you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hakisha, and I am a Big Forest Marketing. I integrated marketing agency that helps small businesses build their marketing strategies program and, of course, optimize them to connect with their customers better. So, what am I going to talk about? Your AI and future marketing and workflows, right? Before we get that, I'm going to keep it short because my video is 30 minutes. It's not. It's short. But I approached AI and said, okay, so of course, how can this help me in the marketing industry? And then, of course, I went through the process of that using GPT as a prompt. And I said, okay, businesses are going to take this information, but they're going to keep it private. So how do I do that? How do I keep my data private? How do I keep control of the end use of whatever software I'm using? Also, how do I deplete my tech stack, right? Like, I don't know how many of you guys have a tech stack in here, but we were talking about the tech stack. So I said I want to be able to have AI integrated into the programs I'm already using, but I also want to not have to change these things. I also want these programs to be communicated. Now, I'm not a tech person, not at all. Probably like most of you in this room, I'm not coding. I know Scratch, but that's it. So I looked And I said, okay, what programs are out there that I can use, that I can introduce to my clients that will work well for them and also keep them safe? Because I was at CES when we were talking about AI. And I can tell you guys that there's no legislation right now. So your data that you've been putting in the internet is not protected. The data that you put in Google and unfortunately GPT is not protected. So if you're a company and you're trying to keep a competitive edge, your competitor has access to your information. So I said, this is not what I want for my clients. This is not what I want for myself, because my primary job as a marketer is to keep you guys, well, all my clients, to have a competitive edge. So let's see. Here's what I can talk about. Of course, why integrate AI? I think you guys have already done, everyone's done a good job on why we need to integrate AI into our businesses. So we're going to start with integrating AI into sales marketing. These are the advantages: enhance customer engagement, improve lead scoring and qualification, data insights to make decisions, personalized customer experiences. This is all of what we want. So I asked myself, how did we get here? Right? And it was the same. These are the questions I'm asking myself. For sales, we want predictive analytics, chatbots for customer interactions, price optimization, customer segmentation, and targeting. Hyper-targeting, hyper-segmentation. And I remember I'll get a chance to talk to you guys about how personal that hyper-segmentation is, and how deep it goes into actually following our footprints across the data, across the internet, not just about what we do, but about what our children do, about what we're doing with our phones. So, I forget the attorney's name, but she's so right. It's, when it comes to ethics, it's very, as we were doing it and I was looking into it, I was like, oh my God, like this is very, very invasive. That's the word I'm going to use, invasive. Okay, so, but these are all reasons why I'm using tools that I'm using. I'll show you guys. So for marketing, we want customer behavior analysts, content personalization, again, hyper-personalization, tracking sentiments, and tracking individuals across the internet. Very, very interesting. Automated email campaigns, social media analysis. So I'm rushing through this because I don't best practice for AI integration, right? Those are the things that I wanted. Best practices would be define your objectives, keep your KPIs. Choose the right AI solutions so that your business can be protected and your customers can be protected. So that goes into data quality and accessibility. Find good data quality for that you're getting. Either is it from you or is it from your from a trusted data source. Foster data collaborations amongst all departments, because not just the marketing department is using this. Your legal department is going to be using your information, and your accounting department is going to be using this information. So we want to make sure that you have people on this that are treating the data very important. Give your people access to training. So a lot of people are afraid about AI taking over their jobs, but how I see it is AI it's going to be replacing jobs, and the training is out there. So instead of getting rid of the workforce, I see a retraining of the workforce that's going to be happening. So we're going to absolutely have to look into programs where it can be costly to train, not so costly, to train a workforce into using AI. I'm seeing this a lot right now in the real estate and trucking industry, and of course across the finance industry as well. Where in state retail too. I was going to actually have a video for you all, but this video is 30 minutes. So I'm going to give you an option. I use two programs right now. One program is called AI Squared. AI Squared, what I love about it is it takes out the open source part of AI and it allows you to build your AI program in a more personalized way. Next one I love is IBM PowerPact. This is not one. But IBM PowerPact also does the same thing where you're allowed to keep your data and keep it personalized. And then going back to AI Squared, it also allows you to be able to have even an action where you're going in and you're changing what the machine was specifically taught to be able to do it in real time, in short amount of time. Because what a lot of people have been seeing in the software industry is we are implementing the programs, but in the marketing industry, we're like, we need to actually have fast results, fast numbers. So we want to see these things work faster. So if you would like, you can email me, and I will send you that link. And I always send you the link to IBM CloudPact. And both of those actually have programs that you can play with and be able to kind of see if it works for you. And that's what I will leave you with today. We have, it can be made tremendously easy for us at our fingertips. But what I do know is that in the short term, it's easy. In the long term, we're going to have to take baby steps at the beginning in order to protect ourselves in the long run in regards to data and client privacy. So thank you very much. And
so I'm going to ask our panelists to stay up here. One of the things that I wanted to do is also do a live demonstration to kind of give some guidance on how it works. So you, Rachel, right? Yes. So we had you all fill out the survey at the beginning, and one of the things that I like to do with businesses, or when I get a chance to sit down and chat with them, is what are the big challenges you're facing in your business? And then utilizing potentially, not to solve them, but to give ideas or suggestions on how to improve those. So bear with me, I'm going to try this, because Rachel had her big challenge in her business, which is one that I feel like I can speak confident on, is developing strong proposals for funding. So that was her biggest challenge in her business, was facing that. So give me 1 second while I pull up the... Yeah, and I also want to show you a couple, so I'm going to show a couple of tools here to give some guys kind of, do not look at my background, it's a total mess. And of course, he wants to update her business. But Rachel, so I'm going to ask Rachel a few questions, and I want to show you how to do it. So first off, I'm going to type in, like I think Mark was mentioning how to prompt it appropriately and making sure that you're using the right prompts. I'm not going to say these are the right prompts, but what I will say is you want to give some thought into how you prompt it. The more specific in the prompts that you give, the better, which will help alleviate which will help make it more specific. So in this case, I'm going to start off by typing, act as if you're a professional grant writer. And then Rachel, what are the things that you are trying to, you're seeking funding. So what are you looking to write?
We're looking to get funding for a workforce development program in the chamber in San Clemente. You need details, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So we want it to start in the high schools and trickle into a type of mentorship program, which also goes into an internship kind of thing with businesses in the community. and then kind of develop through college and beyond into our young innovators.
And I know you're submitting the proposal.
What was that?
Who are you submitting your grant proposal
Oh, the city of San Clemente.
to? The city of San Clemente.
Yeah, just
Okay, so I want to be fairly brief, but you could also prompt us with a ton more information. You copy and paste that email, so you do all sorts of stuff when it comes to it. But I just want to show, for those of you that haven't used it, I know most of you use this, so you know the details. But it does come into the prompt of it. And so what it will do, obviously, is just create a grant that you can put together. And like most of our folks have shared, you want to double check this and reference it. But it really helps to get stuff kicked off the ground when you have no idea how to get started. So that's one of the tools, and obviously doing it, as Mark mentioned, the way to prompt it is the best thing that you're going to get into. I wanted to showcase one specific thing, which is how to take it. Oftentimes people use it as like, they'll use it once and say, well, that wasn't really helpful. I mean, they're amazed that it works and it gave them general information about what it was. But it wasn't really helpful because that's what they were looking for. So you can prompt it to do all sorts of different things. And so I'll show you one example of this. So right now, click the button and all that stuff. But let's pretend you wanted to take this proposal. So in this case, I'll say, write an email to the San Clemente City Council members to introduce this proposal. And then you can take it and I'll flesh out each one of those things using the information that is already created from the grant writing that it has. So you can totally flesh these out. You can totally ask for all sorts of information. And when you're looking at using it for your business, you can see it, and I'll say it's the efficiency of it. You can look at it, you can implement it, you can take these things super quickly. The other thing I wanted to show you, so that's the gist of the ChatGPT stuff in action. I'm hoping, should we try this one more time? How many of you use Midjourney? Midjourney? I'm going to go a roundabout way to show you what it looks like this, for whatever reason. Oh, there you go. Perfect. So I want to show you how Midjourney works. So I need this is volunteer participation today. So somebody yell out a person. Zeb. Okay, we'll just say Zeb. Somebody give me a place. What? Somebody give me a name.
Drinking pina coladas.
Let's say an adjective. So you an adjective. On the beach. Swimming. Oh. Okay. We'll say swimming either way. All right. So this is a tool called Midjourney. So what it'll do is it'll create images based off of the prompt that you give it via text. It does. I can think. Yeah. It should take about 30 seconds. And then you can see what it comes up with. Now, when you type in Zeb, obviously I have no idea who I am, so it's just taking a guess at what Zeb is. But if you get like a professional figure, so you can see it could be a person or it could be a dog. You never know. Yeah, probably a little bit of both. I've been called it. So you can see it'll craft those images, and those images look super realistic for the most part. And this technology is getting more and more advanced. And so you saw the stuff with Scott with the videos that he was doing. You saw the stuff with Mark with the audio that he was doing. You saw the pictures and imagery of this tool called Midjourney. And I think that these tools help streamline things. So let's just say you're putting together an event for a pina colada in Hawaii, a pina colada day in Hawaii. You can craft something very similar and put a picture together that would showcase that. So with that, I'm going to go back up to the stage. Those are the things that I wanted to highlight, and then I'm going to ask our question of our panelists that we've been asking of everyone, which is, if you had one piece of advice that you can give here when it comes to using artificial intelligence for their business, what would that one piece of advice be? Yes.
Have fun with it. It's exciting. It's new. I know, technology kind of came like storming in, like 2008. Everybody started developing a lot of apps, and there's been a lot of it's become kind of tumultuous. But this is an exciting time. So, yes, there can be pitfalls and it's scary, but you came to this, some of them, so go out and test it out,
Adding on to that, yeah, so definitely do that. Have fun with it, be patient with it, test it out. Opposite side. Again, just seeing how invasive personalization can be, and just to connect with new customers and follow them along the customer journey, I would definitely say be careful with it and make sure you are respecting your customers' privacy and letting them know, keeping an open line of communication with what it is that you're doing with your data and building a trust foundation. What we don't want to see happen in any small company or any business wants to see is huge losses for privacy infringement. And I'm not a lawyer, I don't know what she's at, but I'm not a lawyer. But I know that this can happen because we have to work generally with legal departments in the marketing industry. And it can happen. So just take baby steps forward, but also have lots of fun with it. Protect your data, protect your proprietary rights to your business's growth. That's what I would have to say.
Perfect. And then I did want to show you all a couple of other things. I just want to show, because it'll track, they talk about the historical data, so it'll track some of the things that you'll have in your business. And so I want to showcase some of the things that we've been talking about, or that I've used it for. So I'll have meetings with different businesses. One of the things is a company called Husband. They do a lot of manufacturing here, and they wanted to write a retention plan. They didn't have a retention plan in place. They wanted to write one out. You can flesh each one of these things out individually. So we did that on. I wrote some letters of recommendation for some of our staff. So I basically took their LinkedIn profiles, copied and pasted those, write my little thoughts in there, and then asked them to write a letter of recommendation for some things. We talked about, there's a friend of mine that is hosting a workshop on at our local chamber conference on positive work culture. So she was getting behind in terms of submitting their little synopsis. So I had to create a 75-word synopsis and use that. And then I want to show you with our panelists have all talked about playing with the tools. So when I was giving my kids a bath one day, you guys, anybody know what geocaching is? So I don't geocache. It's not like I've done it a few times, but because I did it once and it was like, I came up with it. I always had this idea for the book where it's like a geocaching tournament to death. So I put that, just had different ideas, and I would throw those into chapters in the ChatGPT. I used some images to put the pictures together through that mid-journey tool that we were talking about. And it was just playing with this. I'm not going to publish this or anything, but it was like remarkable at how good the story was. And it was a really, I shared it with a couple people, and they're like, oh, this is so good, I want to keep reading this. And same thing with the pictures and the imagery. And so I did that while my kids were taking a bath. I wrote about 15 chapters of a book that I had in my head for a dozen years, and it took me time to put together 15 chapters while my kids were taking a bath. So I just want to highlight the efficiency and the quickness of it. And if anybody wants to read it, it's so good. But with that, let me go back to our, so can we give a big round of applause for our panelists? The next thing, so this is what I mentioned, group activity. We also want to thank Cali Fuse Catering. So Cali Fuse is right there. Can we give them a round of applause? We also have some House Bubble Shop that has also been donating. And then now what I'd like to encourage, so this is the time, we're a Chamber of Commerce, we love networking, so we want to get, what my goal here today was hopefully your brains have kind of lit on fire a little bit, like I shared earlier. What I'd love for us to do is just get up and move around a little bit. And what I want you to do is I want you to talk to 3 different people. And when you talk to those 3 different people, I want you to share one idea that you've had when it comes to your business, how you can implement one of these tools that we discussed today, or something interesting or fascinating that you thought about it. So we're going to do that for the next 15 minutes or so. So I want you to talk to at least 3 people. So everybody, can you all stand up for me, please? And I want you to get up and move around. Don't talk to the same people at your table. Let's talk about something that you've learned or that you are interested or excited about in today. And then I'll call you back in about 10, 15 minutes.